Before we begin, I want you to sit very comfortably. If you're lying down, that's okay as well. Just make sure you're sitting or lying in a comfortable position. Make sure your legs and arms aren't crossed. And make sure you can see the screen as you relax and let go. And first, what I want you to do is I just want you to close your eyes for a little while. That's right, just close your eyes down and just listen along to my voice very carefully. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath in and out, in and out. And I want you to focus very closely on your breathing as you continue to take very deep, easy breaths in and out. And I want you to notice yourself beginning to relax with each breath, as if each breath helped you to relax and let go. As if each easy breath in and out helps you to drift a little deeper into that relaxation. And that's all hypnosis really is just listening to my voice. Maybe focusing on something like your breathing, and just letting your mind begin to relax and slow down, to relax and unwind as you sort of drift, as you drift and relax and listen along. Take another deep breath in and out, and feel yourself begin to go deeper into that relaxation. Imagine that with each breath that you take, you're sort of drifting down in that darkness behind your eyes, this place of easy relaxation. Take another deep breath in and out, and feel yourself slowing down. Each breath seems to add more weight to your body. Each breath helps your mind to unwind and relax. And in a moment, I'm going to have you open your eyes again. And I want you just to close them immediately when I say the word sleep. That's a cue for you just to close your eyes down again and relax and let go, heavier and heavier. As I slowly count up, you can slowly open your eyes, but notice a very deep heaviness in those eyes, as if you sort of want to close them again very quickly. Starting with the number 1, 2, slowly opening your eyes, and 3, open those eyes and focus on the spiral in front of you. And as you look at that spiral, feel yourself already relaxing and letting go, heavier and heavier, and sleep. Close those eyes down. Close them down and feel yourself relax. Feel yourself sink down. Imagine yourself returning to that relaxation you felt when you took those nice, easy breaths in and out. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale, and feel yourself drift a little further down. Notice how easy it is to relax and let go. to imagine yourself just drifting away into the darkness behind your eyes, this void of relaxation, as if everything else can drift away, as you just listen along and feel your mind drift down, down into that warm, peaceful relaxation. So warm, so heavy, so easy just to listen along and drift down deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. And the next time I have you open your eyes, it's going to be very, very hard to even keep those eyes open. And I want you to imagine a heavy weight attached to those eyes, knowing that when you have to open them again, it's going to be so hard to keep them open. And I'll count from 1 to 3, and as I count, slowly opening those eyes, but immediately feeling the weight in them. 1, 2, and 3. Eyes open again. And that was just a little exercise to help you relax and help you prepare to be hypnotized. And now what I want you to do is I want you to focus all your attention on that clock there in front of you. And I want you to just try to keep your eyes open as long as you possibly can. And I want you to focus on that clock very closely. Try to notice as much as you can about that image, that clock moving around and around. And as you watch it go and turn, I want you to notice a heaviness beginning to set in, a heaviness returning to your body. Maybe you feel it the most in your lungs, with those heavy, heavy breaths in and out. And as you watch that clock go around and around, just focus on your breathing in and out. And I want you to imagine that with each breath that you take, you're spreading a relaxation outward. From your lungs, you can feel it move up into your shoulders. You can feel it move down into your stomach, into your waist. You can imagine it sort of like a warm red glow, and you can feel that glow moving up through your neck. You can feel it soaking into the back of your head, and you can feel it move down into your cheeks and your mouth. You can feel it in those tiny, tiny muscles in your eyes. And I want you to try to keep your eyes open as you watch that clock, as you focus all your attention on that clock, watching each movement around and around. And it's as if that warmth, that relaxation is closing in on your eyes, causing them to close down, causing them to feel heavy as you watch that clock, almost as if you could barely keep those eyes open. Each time they close down, you feel yourself drift down into that darkness of relaxation, down into that warm, peaceful heaviness, down into that warm, peaceful place of relaxation, down heavier and heavier. And you can imagine in your mind that clock again. With those eyes closed down, try to see that clock in your mind. Remember what it looked like, and imagine the hands of that clock moving again, around and around. But notice that with each turn of those hands, you can feel yourself drifting down, heavier and heavier. You can sort of feel yourself unwinding into this relaxation, drifting and sinking as that darkness grows around you like a warm blanket. It surrounds you endlessly. There's nothing here at all but just your relaxation as you drift further and further down, deeper and deeper. Imagine the hands of that clock again, see them in your mind. And I want you to imagine that you can sort of slow time down in your mind. You can even slow the hands of that clock. And the slower you make that clock, the more this relaxation can settle in. Heavier and heavier, slowing down further and further into that relaxation. So warm, so heavy, as if the slower that clock becomes, the heavier your mind feels, sort of warm and fuzzy, warm and comfortable, as it drifts down, as if you're moving further from that clock. Imagine your body drifting deeper into that warm, peaceful darkness, moving down. Feel the weight of that sinking, pulling, and taking your body further down, deeper and deeper, further into that warm, comfortable sleep. Just letting yourself drift and sink. And you can let these words sort of roll right over you. You can hear them, but maybe you don't have to focus on what they actually say. Instead, focus on yourself drifting down. Focus on that image of your mind, that image of your body floating like on a cloud, drifting down. And I want you just to continue to take that body further down. Take yourself further into this relaxation, almost as if you're guiding that body with an invisible hand, pulling it down into this warm, heavy sleep. And as I count from 5 to 1, imagine that hand pulling your body deeper, and with each number feel the weight of that pull, taking you into a heavier, more peaceful relaxation. 5, drifting down. 4, deeper and deeper. 3, more and more relaxed. 2, and on that next number, just let yourself go all the way down. That hand pulling you down into this relaxation. 2, and 1. Deeper and deeper. Just drifting down into that warm, comfortable relaxation. Drifting down into that warm, peaceful sleep. Heavier and heavier. And from this darkness, you can do and imagine all kinds of things. Your imagination is much more capable here in this relaxation. Feel that imagination begin to build and move. Imagine that imagination is beginning to stir in that darkness, as if all around you are colors moving and swirling before your eyes as you relax. And I want you to imagine that those colors take the shape of a beach. Imagine yourself there on a beach. You can see the water moving in and out. You can see the soft white clouds moving over the water. And what I want you to notice is that you're not standing at all, but instead you're lying stretched out in a hammock. Imagine yourself right by the water, stretched out in that hammock. You can feel it pressing against your back. And I want you to notice that the hammock is tied between two trees. And you can see the sunlight coming down through the leaves of the trees. And you notice a faint, warm summer breeze begin to blow and brush against your body. And I want you to notice that that wind, that breeze, begins to rock you in that hammock, back and forth. And I want you to notice yourself feel a little heavier as you rock back and forth. Notice that warm fuzziness settle in your mind as you just imagine yourself drifting with the wind back and forth, each time feeling heavier and more relaxed, back and forth, heavier and heavier, back and forth, as if nothing at all has to happen while you relax, as if it's so easy just to drift in that hammock, back and forth. Everything can just sort of pass you by in this hammock as you drift back and forth, heavier and heavier, the wind blowing against your body, the wind taking you back and forth as you drift further into that hammock, back and forth as you drift deeper and deeper into that relaxation. And I want you to remember that warm, relaxing beach. Right next to that hammock, the water runs up and down on that shoreline. Look over at that warm, comfortable scene. And I want you to focus on those waves as they go up and down. Feel yourself drift back and forth in that hammock as you look over to that water and drift further down, heavier and heavier, back and forth as that water moves in and out. And occasionally I want you to imagine that there's an orange wave, sort of like a fire. And each time you see this wave, it seems to bring a warmth over to your body. And it seems to pull you further into that relaxation. Imagine that orange wave going in and out as it takes you further down. That orange wave helping you to relax. But as you look at the water, it just looks normal as those waves mix in and out, back and forth in that hammock. And then again you see another orange wave coming, and you feel its relaxation and warmth as it comes in and out, taking you further down as you go back and forth in that hammock. And again that orange wave recedes, and you see just the blue of the water going in and out, the white of those waves going up onto the shore. And then again, in the distance, that orange wave is coming, and you feel its heaviness already. You feel it set in as it washes up on the shore, so heavy and relaxed. And it's so easy just to relax as you watch those waves. Watching for those orange waves to take you further and further down. Here comes another one in, so heavy and so relaxed as it seems to pull you further down into that relaxation, more uncomfortably, heavier and heavier. And I want you to imagine yourself drifting out of that hammock and moving towards the water, moving towards the waves. And as you stand at the edge of the water, imagine a massive orange wave begins to come and tower over your body. And as it stands over you, you can feel the weight of that wave. You can feel its warmth like a glow as it moves closer to your body. And I want you to imagine it just washing up over your body. And as you feel yourself plunge down into the water, you can see the water is red with warmth and relaxation, red with a peaceful heaviness. And it seems to soak into your skin as you breathe in that warmth. You can feel it soak into your muscles like an artificial sunlight. You can feel it just glow all around you as this water takes you deeper and deeper down. Like a current, it seems to pull you down. And you can feel yourself drifting away from that red, drifting back down into the black darkness of your relaxation. Imagine your body drifting down into a deeper, a peaceful sleep. A relaxation where nothing can bother you at all as you just drift and unwind. A relaxation where everything else just seems to pass you by as you want to just drift and soak in this warmth, remembering the red of that wave, remembering the warmth it brought to your body, and feel yourself drifting down as you remember and feel that warmth across your entire body, as if that warmth seems to come from inside. Like a fire in your chest, it moves out with each breath, heavier and heavier. You can imagine that warmth helping you to relax. And while you relax and drift, sinking in this void of deep relaxation, I want you to feel your imagination begin to pick up again. As if around you in that darkness, colors begin to swirl and move about your body, swirling and turning in that darkness. And I really want you to focus on two colors that begin to emerge around you. And those colors are of orange and red.
Orange and red.
See those colors begin to grow stronger and more defined as they swirl and move around your body like waves of color. And I want you to try to focus those colors in front of you, almost as if you're bunching them up together, as if you're creating one color. See those colors begin to take shape, almost like a ball of red and orange right there in front of your body, floating with you in that darkness. And I want you to see that ball of color begin to take the shape of a fire, of a flame. Imagine it sort of like the flame of a candle, except there is no candle, there's no wick, only that fire burning, flickering, moving about your face and your eyes. And as you focus on it, imagine it growing a little larger, as if it's building and growing in that darkness right before your body, right before your face. See it grow until it's even larger than your own head, and you can see it floating there in the darkness. Try to see your body as if you're standing outside your body, and see the flame floating right there in front of your eyes, moving, flickering, but staying right there in front of your face. And I want you to really focus and see yourself staring down into those flames, and imagine she is becoming mesmerized. Imagine as she looks down into those flames, she's becoming even more hypnotized. As if as she looks into those flames, they seem to capture her, mesmerize her mind, seems to pull her mind into those flames. And you can feel in your skin the warmth from that fire. You notice how warm and soothing it feels on your skin, like sunlight in the afternoon. It feels so warm and comfortable as you just look into those flames and feel yourself relax further and further, as if that warmth is soothing you, bringing you down to a deeper place of relaxation, as if everything can kind of roll over you while you just see yourself mesmerized by that flame, by that candle, by that warm color that swirls in front of your face. And I want you to really try to see yourself looking down into those flames. Imagine yourself gazing down into the fire, and try to imagine what you might see in the depths of that color, looking down into those orange orange and red flames, and you see all kinds of different shapes, different movements. But I want you to see them begin to take the shape of a collar. You can see a black leather collar beginning to emerge in those flames and take shape. The longer you look into those flames, the more you try to see that collar, the more it begins to grow and become deeper defined in that fire, forging that collar with your own mind. And that collar is a symbol of your submission. It is a symbol of your exploration as this new submissive self. And you're going to put all your desires, all your fantasies as a submissive self into that collar, as if those fantasies, those images, those curiosities are the very thing creating that collar and those flames, as if you yourself are creating this symbol of submission. And eventually you're going to wear that collar around your neck. And you can imagine how satisfying it might be to wear that collar, to know you've given in to something exciting, something sexual, something different. You can imagine how nice it might feel to experience a deeper sense of submission. Because to be submissive is to let everything else leave your mind, except two very simple principles. And those principles are just obeying and experiencing pleasure. And you can imagine how easy it might be to live within those two principles, to forget everything else, and to just focus on obeying and feeling pleasure. You can imagine how satisfying it might be to leave everything behind, to allow yourself just to focus on something more primal, more simple, of just obeying and feeling pleasure. You can imagine how good it might feel, and you'll know you'll experience this level of submission when you don that collar, when you wear it proudly around your neck. You can allow yourself to forget everything except wanting to obey and wanting to feel more pleasure. And you know that to obey is to give yourself more pleasure. And it's easy to fall into that loop of just obeying and experiencing pleasure and leaving everything else behind. And that is the beauty of feeling submission and wearing that collar, is to become stuck in that loop of bliss and peace. Because that is true freedom, to not be burdened by anything else. To just let yourself revolve for a little while around those two easy principles of obeying and feeling pleasure. You can imagine how good it's going to feel to wear that collar and focus so closely on those two simple principles. And as you focus on the collar that still sits and rests in the flame there in front of you, I want you to notice two images etched into that collar, etched into the leather, and they seem to glow while that collar rests in the fire. And those images are the principles that collar represents. And you can see there's an image of a woman bowing on her knees. And that is the image of your submission. Knowing that there is something very satisfying in bowing and giving yourself to lower yourself before this voice, And you can imagine in that image that this voice, this shadow, the source of your submission is there just outside that image on your collar. And as you focus on that image of a woman bowing, you can imagine she's bowing before this shadow. And already you can imagine how good that would feel, knowing that is a true and easy source of obeying, to lower yourself before your source of submission. And as you focus on that first image, that first principle of your growing submission, imagine what it would be like if you were to bow before this voice. Try to see it in your mind as if you're bowing before that flame. And already you can feel this growing sense of arousal in your body. As if in your mind you see yourself bowing before the flame, and it allows you more and more pleasure, as if you can feel that pleasure building in your body as you lower yourself before that flame. And you can imagine that image in the collar growing brighter, becoming more pronounced, as if it's connected to your arousal, it's connected to your direct submission. And as you lower yourself in your mind, that submission grows. Imagine yourself getting as close to the ground as you can, getting as close to the floor as possible below that flame, and feel that arousal grow. And you can imagine how satisfying it's going to be to wear that collar and lower yourself again. And you'll feel that submission, you'll feel that arousal return. Anytime you lower yourself in that way, to bow, to show such a strong symbol of submission, it will always bring about that warm sense of arousal. Knowing you're doing something you're supposed to, you're obeying, and to follow that first principle always brings about that sense of arousal. To show it in a bow is to bring about a stronger sense of arousal in your body, to give yourself to that submission, and to show it in such a strong, direct way. That's right. And anytime you wear that collar, you'll think of that first principle. To submit, you'll think of that image of a woman bowing before the shadow. And you'll always come to see that as one of the strongest symbols of your submission. To bow and give yourself in to that wonderful arousal. But it's important as well to focus on the second image of that collar, that second principle of your submission. And that is, of course, pleasure. And you already know to give yourself into that first principle automatically brings about the second principle. Just to allow yourself to obey seems to automatically bring about more pleasure, more arousal. And as you focus on that second image, I want you to see a woman again, but this time she's on her knees in the throes of passion, in the throes of ecstasy. Maybe her head is thrown back as she experiences those pleasures. And that's always going to be the second image on your collar, the second image you'll hold to as a symbol of your submission. And that is that woman in the throes of ecstasy, to symbolize the principle of pleasure, knowing to obey, to experience submission automatically brings about pleasure anytime you allow yourself to become submissive. Anytime you show those signs of submission like bowing, it automatically brings about that pleasure, that sense of arousal inside of you. Like a fire, it seems to grow each and every time you give in to that submission. You allow yourself to become submissive, you'll feel that pleasure. As if to be submissive creates this loop inside your mind. A loop that seems to stretch out endlessly, that you can repeat over and over again, seeking out those feelings of submission, and in return feeling that arousal, that pleasure inside your body. And that's going to be a very strong loop inside that collar, as if the collar itself symbolizes that loop, that circle of submission and pleasure that you go around and around, each time learning to feel that pleasure more, each time giving in to that submission more. And you'll even feel that each time you listen and watch this file, this video, feeling that growing sense of submission and pleasure, allowing yourself to become more submissive, and in result feeling more pleasure each and every time, going around that loop of your collar again and again, knowing that this loop has been created in the depths of your mind. That loop is a part of your mind, and you'll desire to go around it again and again, each time feeling that arousal, that pleasure, that release, that peace and comfort of having only two principles to follow, to focus on, to escape everything else you desire to escape, to allow yourself to focus on those two simple things, to obey, to feel pleasure, to focus on that image of bowing, and then that image of pleasure, knowing those two are deeply connected. To allow yourself to become submissive means to feel pleasure. It means to go around that loop. And I want you to really focus on that fire and that collar around you, seeing those two images glowing red with desire, glowing red with submission. And in a moment you're going to reach into that fire and you're going to pull that collar out. And it's okay to trust this voice, to give yourself to that submission and reach into those flames. And as you do, you're going to feel a sense of arousal grow inside you, knowing you've followed your first command. You've trusted in this voice, knowing it'll keep you safe. And in result, those flames will bring about pleasure. Go ahead, imagine your hands lifting and reaching into the depths of that fire. And as your hands go into the flames, feel waves of pleasure move up and down your body like a warm, glowing vibration moving up and down. Imagine yourself taking hold of that collar, and as your hands clasp the collar, you can feel that loop inside your mind already growing more prominent, as if just to hold that collar, you can feel yourself beginning to submit more, and you can feel yourself going around that loop, feeling pleasure, giving in more, and feeling pleasure. As your hands rest in that fire and that pleasure grows, giving in to submit, feeling pleasure, giving in stronger and feeling more pleasure. And in a moment, as you pull that collar out, you feel a sense of release and relief wash over you. And you feel yourself settle as you hold that collar. Lift the collar out and feel that weight sink in your body as you're drifting down, as as if the weight of that collar seems to pull you deeper into this relaxation. As if to hold it and pull it out of those flames, you feel yourself fall back into the depth of that relaxation. As if you drift down deeper and deeper, holding closely to that collar as you unwind and drift down heavier and heavier, deeper and deeper. And as you fall back and relax, it's so easy just to unwind while you hold to that collar as you sink and drift. And just to hold that collar, you can feel the power of that loop in your mind already. You can feel yourself wanting to go back to that loop, to go around and around between those two images in your mind. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to count you down from 10 to the number 1. And as I count you down, I want you to imagine yourself fastening that collar around your neck. And as you do, you're going to slowly wake up. But you can imagine yourself waking up with that collar around your neck. And you can imagine how that might feel, what changes those might bring about, how you might feel embracing that wonderful loop inside your mind. As if to wake with that collar, you already want to begin to follow that loop, to give in to submission and feel pleasure. As I count down from 10 to 1, imagine yourself putting on that collar, and as I reach the number 1, wake up wearing that collar proudly. Starting with the number 10, imagine yourself beginning to undo that collar. Number 9, number 8, beginning to lift it up towards your neck. Number 7, number 6, begin to wrap that collar around your neck, already feeling some of the pleasure as you give in to that submission. Number 5, number 4, you can feel and imagine yourself doing up that collar. Number 3, you can feel it snug around your neck. Number 2, and on that next number, wake up with that collar around your neck. 3, 2, and 1.